A square lamina of capital ABCD of 40 mm side rests on corner C such that the diagonal AC appears to be 45 degrees to VP. These two sides BC and CD containing the corner make equal inclination with HP. The surface of the lamina makes 30 degree with HP. Draw its top and front views. A square lamina of ABCD of 40 mm side rests on corner C. So here, keep this in the corner position such that the extreme points will going to be the corner. This is possible only when the square is placed at an angle of 45 degrees to VP, such that the surface is made parallel to HP. So when you look from the front view, all the points, that is all the sides are resting on HP. So obviously it is parallel to HP. So we can get, when you look from the top view, we can see the true shape, which is CB, ABA, AD and DC will be in true shape because all the sides will be equal to 40 mm. Now when you look from the front view, C, B, A are near to the observer, so C dash, B dash, A dash is visible, and D is away from the observer, so D dash becomes invisible, so which is in bracket. So when you look from the top view, we can see the square of 40 mm side, and when you look from the front view, we are going to get a line. So that is what we can see in the orthographic view, wherein you have a square of 40 mm side such that it is equally inclined to HP, and this is the line which you will going to get in the front view. That is what this line and this line is the same. So here, as the two sides BC and CD containing the corner makes equal inclination with HP. So here the surface of the lamina makes 30 degree with HP. Now here it is resting on C on corner. So the surface is inclined at an angle of 30 degrees to HP. Once the surface is rotated by an angle of 30 degrees, you can see the surface inclination with respect to HP is seen in the vertical plane. So this is the surface which is inclined at 30 degrees to HP, and the surface is still perpendicular to VP. So you can get a line in the front view. So this is the line what you get in the front view. When you look from the side view, the side containing the corner, which is C, makes equal inclination with HP. So that means the two sides containing the corner, which is C, the two sides which are the two corners CB and CD makes equal inclination with HP. So when you look from the front view, you can see this will going to be the equal inclinations, which we can see from C double dash to B double dash and C double dash to D double dash. Both will going to have equal inclination, which you can see 26.57 and 26.57 in the side view. So that is how we will be able to analyze this in the second position. The surface makes an angle 30 degree with HP. Now in the final position, the diagonal AC appears to be inclined at 45 degrees to VP. So once the surface is inclined to HP, so the diagonal AC will going to become apparent length. So you can see this apparent length, and also the inclination given is also apparent inclination because appears to be inclined, he says. So since it is appears, always you remember that it is the apparent inclination. So we are going to reproduce the second position top view in the third position such that it is inclined at 45 degrees to VP. That is the diagonal AC will be inclined at to 45 degrees to VP, and then write the corresponding front view, which will going to be the last position, and this position and this position will going to be the same, and this is the projected surface on the HP. So this will going to be the final position. So now this is how we can analyze in the 3 dimension. Now we are going to solve the problem on the sketchbook. First we are going to draw the XY line and mark VP and HP. So first we are going to start from the HP. So first we are going to you consider any point, draw a horizontal line and make equal inclination 45 degrees to horizontal and 45 degrees to horizontal, and draw the inclined lines with this point as center. Cut an arc by using the compass to measure a radius of 40 mm. Cut an arc on this side and also on this side. Again from this point you draw an arc, and from this point you cut an arc. So then name them C, B, A and D, and then join A, B, C, D with the dark lines. And here draw a vertical projector from C B and D and A to the XY line. And when you look from the front view, CBA is near to the observer, so C dash, B dash, A dash is visible, and D is away from the observer, so D dash becomes invisible. So then dark between C dash and A dash and name them. And once you, then the surface of the lamina makes an angle of 30 degree with HP. So consider any point which is C dash on XY line, because he says C is on, corner C is on HP. So you make C dash on HP, because in the point, the problem also he mentions the point as capital C. So you have to mark the C dash only on XY line. Don't rest on corner on A, because the problem specifies you have to be resting on C dash. So then by using the protractor you measure an angle of 30 degree and draw an inclined line, and then by using the compass you measure the distance from C dash to A dash. From C dash you cut an arc on this, and then measure the length from C dash to B dash, and from C dash you cut an arc to get this point B dash. Then mark this point C dash, B dash and D dash in bracket and A dash. Then draw a dark line which will going to be the front view. So this is how we are reproducing the first position front view in the second position. Now we are going to project this. Draw a vertical projector from C dash and draw a horizontal projector from C. The intersection of these 2 points, we are going to get this point small c. Similarly, draw a vertical projector from B dash and D dash and draw a horizontal projector from B and D to intersect at these 2 points. To mark this point as B and D. Draw a vertical projector from A dash and draw a horizontal projector from A to intersect at this point, and you mark this point as A. Then mark the point C, B, A, D and join C to B, B to A to B, A to D and D to C with a dark lines. Now once the surface is inclined, the diagonal also becomes inclined, that is diagonal AC, which is inclined. So then the diagonal will going to become the apparent length, and the diagonal AC appears to be inclined to VP at 45 degrees. Since he says appears, so he has given the apparent inclination. And in the second position, when the surface is inclined, the diagonal is also becomes apparent length. So from the projections of lines, always apparent on the apparent line, apparent inclination, you have to produce apparent length. Since we have to reproduce the second position top view, which is also in the apparent length, therefore you reproduce the same drawing here in the third position top view. So first consider any point and draw a 45 degree line and mark this point as C, and measure the distance from C to A by using the compass, and by using the protractor you draw an angle of 45 degrees. Then by using the compass you measure the length from C to A. From C you cut an arc on that 45 degree line to get this point small a. Then measure the distance from C to this point, and from C you cut an arc on this inclined line AC. From this point we have a perpendicular to AC, so by using the protractor you measure an angle of 90 degree with respect to AC, and then draw a perpendicular line. And by using the compass you measure the distance from this point to B and also from this point to D. Both will going to have equal length. From this point you cut an arc on the left side and also on the right side, so that you are going to get this point B and D. Then mark the points C, B, A and D. Then join C to B, B to A to D and D to C with a dark line. So now draw a horizontal projector from C dash and draw a vertical projector from C to intersect at this point C dash. Similarly, draw a horizontal projector from B dash and D dash and draw a vertical projector from B and also from D to intersect at B dash and D dash, and draw a horizontal projector from A dash and draw a vertical projector from A to intersect at this point, which is A dash, and mark the points A dash, B dash, C dash and D dash, and draw a dark line between A dash to B dash, B dash to C dash, C dash to D dash and D dash to A dash, which will going to give the third position front view. So this is how we will be able to find the final solution. So here a square plate of 40 mm side resting on one of its corners, resting on the corner C, such that the two sides containing the corner, which is BC and CD, makes equal inclination with HP, such that the surface makes an angle of 30 degree with HP, and the diagonal passing through the corner on which the rest AC appears to be inclined to VP at 45 degrees. Since it is appears, so we are going to get the apparent inclination directly. So this is how we will be able to find the final solution.